Taewon stood on the observation deck and watched the red sun set over New Seoul 7. He had seen this view every day for 34 years. His entire life. He was born here, raised here, and now he would probably die here. The thought did not scare him anymore. Behind him, the colony's main settlement spread across the valley. 15,000 people lived in those buildings. They worked the mines, grew food in the greenhouses, and raised children who had never seen Earth. Most of them had never even seen a picture of Earth. The old database files were corrupted decades ago. Taewon touched the badge on his uniform. Captain of the Colonial Defense Force. It sounded impressive until you saw what he was actually defending with. Rifles that were over 100 years old. Ammunition they had to make themselves in the colony's workshop. Body armor that was really just thick fabric with metal plates sewn inside. His entire force was 200 volunteers with outdated equipment and no real training, except what they taught each other. They were supposed to protect 15,000 people. The idea was almost funny. His radio crackled. It was Hae-jin, his best friend and the colony's chief engineer. Her voice sounded tired. She always sounded tired these days. Keeping the colony's ancient systems running was a job that never ended. Taewon, we have a problem with Reactor 3 again. I need you to authorize a shutdown for repairs. He sighed. Reactor 3 was one of their main power sources. Shutting it down meant rolling blackouts across half the colony. But if it failed completely, people would die. Do it, he said. How long? 2 days if we are lucky. Maybe 3. We are never lucky. He smiled despite himself. But do your best. You always do. He could hear her smile too, even through the radio static. They had known each other since they were children. They had grown up believing Earth was gone. Everyone older than 60 remembered Earth. Remembered when the colony had contact with other human worlds. But then the hyperlane network collapsed during something called the Void Wars, and New Seoul 7 was cut off. That was 127 years ago. For the first few decades, the colonists believed help would come. They believed Earth would rebuild the network and reconnect with them. But decades turned into a century, and no help came. The older generation slowly accepted the truth. Earth had fallen. Humanity was probably extinct everywhere, except this one small colony on this one distant planet. New Seoul 7 was alone. Taewon walked through the settlement as the sun disappeared below the horizon. People greeted him as he passed. Families eating dinner, children playing in the streets. Old Sumi sitting outside her house watching the stars appear. She was 67 years old and had been the colony administrator for 20 years. She made the hard decisions that kept everyone alive. He stopped to talk with her. She offered him tea, which he accepted. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching the night sky. Do you ever wonder if we made the right choice? Sumi asked quietly. Staying here. Building lives here. Having children here. Taewon thought about it. His parents had made that choice. Everyone's parents had made that choice. What else could they do? Die out slowly by refusing to continue? That seemed worse. We survived, he said. That counts for something. Sumi nodded. She was one of the last people alive who actually remembered Earth. She had been 5 years old when the colony was established. Most of her memories were fuzzy, but she remembered blue skies. She remembered oceans. She remembered her grandmother telling her that Earth would always watch over them. She had stopped believing that a long time ago. The alarm began wailing before Taewon could finish his tea. The sound cut through the peaceful evening like a knife. Everyone in the street stopped. Children grabbed their parents. Doors slammed shut as families rushed inside. Taewon was already running toward the command center. His radio exploded with voices, reports, panic, fear, ships, unknown ships. Dozens of them. Entering the system. The command center was chaos when he arrived. Jin-ho, one of his youngest soldiers at 19 years old, was manning the sensor station. His hands shook as he pointed at the screen. Captain, they are huge. I count 40 warships. Maybe more. They are heading straight for us. Taewon stared at the screen. The colony had 3 defense satellites. Old machines that barely worked. They had been built to scare off pirates, not to fight a fleet of warships. He activated the satellites anyway. It was all he could do. The satellites lasted 90 seconds. The alien ships destroyed them with casual efficiency, like swatting flies. A message came through. Audio only. The voice was strange, translated by software that struggled with the alien language. But the meaning was clear enough. This world now belongs to the Vronk Dominion. Your presence is irrelevant. Surrender or be eliminated. Taewon looked around the command center. His people stared back at him, waiting for orders. What could he tell them? They had no weapons that could hurt those ships. They had no way to escape. They had nothing, but they were human. They had survived 127 years alone. They had built lives here, raised families here. They had endured when any sane species would have given up. He activated the colony-wide channel. His voice was calm and steady, even though his heart was pounding. This is Captain Taewon Kim. All civilians proceed to underground shelters immediately. Defense force, report to your positions. We will hold as long as we can. It was not much of a plan. It was barely a plan at all. But it was something Hae-jin found him an hour later. The civilians were in the shelters. The defense force was positioned around the main settlement with their ancient rifles. The alien ships were getting closer. They would be in weapons range within 2 hours. She did not say anything. She just stood next to him, looking up at the sky. Somewhere up there, 40 alien warships were preparing to destroy everything they had ever known. I am sorry, Taewon said. I should have prepared better. Should have found a way to— Stop, Hae-jin interrupted. You did everything you could. We all did. Sometimes that is not enough. Sometimes the universe just does not care. They stood in silence. Young Jinho approached them, his rifle held carefully. He was scared. Everyone was scared. But he was trying to be brave. Captain, what do we do? Taewon put his hand on the young man's shoulder. He wished he had a better answer. He wished he had any answer. We fight. We protect our people as long as we can. We show these aliens that humans do not surrender easily. Even if Earth is gone, even if we are the last humans in the galaxy, we fight. That is what we do. Jinho nodded. He looked a little less scared. A little more determined. An hour passed. Then another. The alien ships entered orbit. Taewon could see them now. Bright dots against the dark sky. So many of them. So impossibly powerful. The first landing craft began descending toward the colony. This was it. The end. And then the sky split open. It was not a natural thing. Space itself seemed to tear apart. A massive wound in reality that burned with impossible light. Everyone stopped and stared. Even the alien ship seemed to pause, confused by what they were seeing. Something came through the tear. A ship, one single ship, but it was enormous. Bigger than any of the alien warships, covered in weapons and armor. It looked like it had been through 1,000 battles and survived them all. And on its hull, clearly visible even from the ground, was a symbol. A symbol that made Sumi gasp and drop her teacup. A symbol that Taewon recognized from old history files. The flag of Earth. A message broadcast across all frequencies. The voice was human, strong, certain, alive. This is Commander Hyunwoo Nam of the United Earth Naval Ship Indomitable. New Soul 7, you are not alone. You were never alone. Earth remembers her children. Taewon felt his knees go weak. His radio exploded with voices. People crying. People cheering. People unable to believe what they were hearing. Earth. Earth was here. After 127 years of silence, Earth had found them, and Earth had come ready for war. Commander Hyunwoo Nam stood on the bridge of the Indomitable and watched the alien fleet through the main view screen. 40 warships, impressive numbers for most species. But Commander Nam had seen worse. Much worse. His crew worked efficiently around him. They were veterans, every single one of them. They had fought in the Void Wars. They had seen Earth nearly fall. They had watched entire colonies burn, and they had survived it all. Now they spent their time finding the colonies that had been cut off, bringing them home, protecting them. New Soul 7 was the 47th colony they had found. 23 had been destroyed before Earth could reach them. 18 had survived but struggled. 4 had actually thrived despite the isolation, and now this one was under attack. Commander Nam would not let it fall. His communications officer looked up. Sir, receiving transmission from the alien flagship. Audio only. Put it through. The voice was arrogant, dismissive. The speaker clearly believed he was dealing with someone weak. I am War Master Gulthrak of the Vronk Dominion. Your presence is irrelevant. Leave this system immediately or be destroyed. These primitives are now property of the Dominion. Commander Nam smiled. It was not a kind smile. He had heard variations of this speech dozens of times. Bullies always sounded the same. He activated his own transmission. War Master Golthrek, this is Commander Hunwoo Nam of the United Earth Navy. Those people you call primitives are human citizens under Earth's protection. You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawing from this system. If you do not, I will consider it an act of war against humanity. There was a pause. Then Golthrek laughed. It was a harsh, grating sound. You have 1 ship. I have 40. Your mathematics are poor, human. Surrender now and I will make your death quick. Commander Nam sighed. He had tried. He always tried. But some species only understood violence very well. You were warned. He closed the channel and looked at his tactical officer. Major Kang, deploy the Marines. Lieutenant Yoon, launch all fighters. Weapons Chajmangan. Let us remind these aliens why Earth does not negotiate with bullies. The bridge erupted into controlled activity. Every person knew their job. They had done this before. Major Sora Kang stood in the Marine deployment bay surrounded by 500 orbital drop Marines. They were Earth's finest soldiers. Each one had trained for years. Each one wore powered armor that could withstand small arms fire and increase their strength 10 times normal. Each one carried weapons that could punch through tank armor, and each one had volunteered for this duty, finding lost colonies, protecting human settlements, reminding the galaxy that humanity was not prey. Major Kang activated her helmet speakers so all 500 Marines could hear her. Listen up. Those colonists down there have been alone for over a century. They think Earth abandoned them. They think they are about to die. Today we show them they were wrong. Today we show them what it means to be human. Today we show them that Earth never forgets her children. The Marines roared their approval. The sound echoed through the bay. Major Kang climbed into her drop pod. Around her, 500 other Marines did the same. The pod sealed with a hiss. She felt the familiar sensation of the launch rails engaging. All units, this is Kang. Drop in 3, 2, 1. Deploy, the pods launched. 500 streaks of fire fell from the Indomitable toward the planet below. Each one carried a warrior. Each one carried Earth's promise. Lieutenant Sung-Ho Yoon sat in the cockpit of his fighter and watched the launch countdown. His SF-77 Raptor was small, fast, and carried enough missiles to destroy a small city. Behind him, 49 other pilots prepared to launch. He loved this moment. The moment before combat, the moment when everything was possible. His radio crackled with Commander Nam's voice. Lieutenant Yoon, you are cleared for launch. Show them what Earth's pilots can do. Yoon grinned inside his helmet. Yes, sir. Raptor Squadron, form up on me. Let us go hunting. The fighters launched in perfect formation. They spread out across space, moving toward the Vralk fleet with deadly purpose. On New Sol 7, Taewon watched the sky with tears in his eyes. 500 points of light fell from orbit like shooting stars. Except these stars were bringing salvation, not wishes. Around him, his defense force stood in stunned silence. They had prepared to die fighting with ancient rifles. Instead, they were watching Earth's warriors descend to save them. Sumi grabbed his arm. The old administrator was crying openly. She pointed at the sky with a shaking hand. They came back, she whispered. After everything, they came back. The first drop pod hit the ground 3 kilometers from the settlement. It landed like a meteor, creating a crater and throwing up a cloud of dust. Before the dust could settle, the pod opened and a figure stepped out. Major Kang looked around, her armor's sensors scanning the area. She could see Vralk landing craft approaching from the east. Good. Let them come. Around her, 499 other Marines emerged from their pods. They formed up quickly, efficiently. Years of training made them move like one organism. Kang activated the tactical channel. All units, enemy approaching from Grid 7. Standard formation. Remember, we are here to protect civilians. No unnecessary risks, but if they want to fight. She checked her rifle. We give them one they will never forget. The Vralk ground forces landed expecting easy prey. They found Earth's Marines instead. The battle was short and brutal. The Vralk had numbers and decent equipment. But Earth's Marines had experience, technology, and something the Vralk did not understand. They were fighting for family. For people who had been alone too long. For colonists who thought they had been forgotten. Major Kang moved through the battlefield like death itself. Her armor absorbed hits that would have killed an unprotected soldier. Her rifle cut through Vralk troops with precision. Around her, her Marines fought with the same cold efficiency. They were not angry. They were not scared. They were professional. This was their job. And they were very, very good at it. In orbit, Lieutenant Yoon led his squadron against the Vralk fleet. The enemy ships were larger and better armed than individual fighters. But Yoon had fought worse odds. His Raptor danced through space, dodging defensive fire while launching missiles at precise points on the enemy ships, shield generators, engine ports, weapon systems. He knew exactly where to hit. Behind him, 49 other pilots followed his example. The Vralk warships began taking damage. Not enough to destroy them, but enough to hurt. Enough to make them pay attention. Yoon locked onto the flagship, War Master Gulthrak's command ship. He painted it with his targeting laser. Indomitable, this is Raptor lead. Target marked. You are cleared hot. On the bridge of the Indomitable, Commander Nam watched the tactical display. His fighters had done their job perfectly. The enemy flagship was marked and vulnerable. He looked at his weapons officer. Main gun, fire. The Indomitable's main railgun was a weapon of devastating power. It accelerated a solid metal slug to a significant fraction of light speed. The energy required to fire it could power a city for a month. The gun fired. The slug crossed the distance in seconds. War Master Gulthrak had one moment to realize his mistake. One moment to understand that he had not been fighting primitives. He had been fighting Earth. Then his ship simply stopped existing. The railgun round tore through it like tissue paper, splitting it in half. Secondary explosions ripped through both halves. Within seconds, there was nothing left but debris. Commander Nam opened a channel to the remaining Vralk ships. His voice was calm, almost gentle, but there was steel underneath. This is Commander Nam. Your War Master attacked human civilians. He paid the price. You have 10 minutes to retreat beyond this system, or I will destroy every ship in your fleet. Your choice. The Vralk fleet began retreating in 9 minutes. On the ground, Major Kang watched the enemy forces pull back. They scrambled to their landing craft and fled. She did not pursue. She had achieved her objective. She activated her external speakers and broadcast to the Colonial Defense Force watching from their positions. People of New Sol 7, this is Major Sora Kang of the United Earth Marines. The threat is over. You are safe. Earth has come home. She removed her helmet so they could see her face, so they could see she was human, so they could see they were not alone anymore. Taewon walked toward her slowly. His hands shook. His rifle hung forgotten at his side. He stopped a few meters away and just stared. Major Kang smiled at him. It was a kind smile, a tired smile, the smile of someone who understood what he had been through. Captain Taewon Kim? She asked. He nodded, unable to speak. Earth never forgot you, she said simply. We have been looking for you, for all the lost colonies, and now we found you. She extended her hand. Welcome back to humanity, Captain. Welcome home. Taewon took her hand, and for the first time in his life, he truly understood what it meant to be part of something bigger than one isolated colony. He understood what it meant to be human. The sun rose over New Sol 7 to a changed world. The Vralk were gone. Earth's massive carrier sat in orbit like a guardian angel. And everywhere, colonists emerged from shelters to find Earth soldiers walking among them. Taewon had not slept. He spent the night talking with Major Kang and learning about everything that had happened during the 127 years of silence. The news was both wonderful and terrible. Earth had not fallen. That was the wonderful part. Humanity had survived the Void Wars, though just barely. Billions had died. Entire worlds had been destroyed. The hyperlane network had been shattered by weapons that tore at the fabric of space itself, but humanity had endured. They had fought back. They had adapted. And they had spent the last 5 years systematically searching for every lost colony, every isolated settlement, every forgotten outpost. New Sol 7 was the 47th colony found. 23 others had been destroyed before Earth could reach them. The thought made Taewon sick. They had been so lucky. If the Vralk had arrived a month earlier, his colony would have been number 24. Now he stood with Major Kang outside the settlement, watching as the Indomitable prepared to land. The carrier was too big to land normally, but it had powerful gravity generators that allowed it to hover just above the surface. The sight was incredible. How many people are on that ship? Taewon asked. About 3,000, Kang replied. Marines, pilots, engineers, medical staff, scientists. Everything we need to help colonies like yours get back on their feet. 3,000 people. That was 1/5 of his entire colony's population, all on one ship. The scale of it was hard to understand. A shuttle descended from the carrier. It was sleek and new, nothing like the old shuttles the colony used. It landed smoothly in the clearing that had been prepared. The hatch opened. Commander Hyunwoo Nam stepped out first, followed by several other officers. He was younger than Taewon had expected, maybe 42 years old, but he carried himself with quiet authority. Sumi stood next to Taewon. She had put on her best clothes for this meeting. Her hands shook slightly as she smoothed her jacket. Commander Nam walked toward them. He stopped a respectful distance away and saluted. Administrator Sumi Lee, Captain Taewon Kim, I am Commander Hyunwoo Nam. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, I apologize for taking so long to find you. Sumi made a sound that was half laugh, half sob. She stepped forward and touched the flag patch on Commander Nam's uniform. The Earth flag, blue and green and white, colors she had not seen in over 60 years. You came back, she whispered. I stopped believing. I gave up hope. But you came back. Commander Nam's expression softened. He reached out and gently held her hands. We never left, Administrator. We just had to find our way back to you. Every colony, every settlement, every human being scattered among the stars. Earth keeps her promises. Behind him, another officer stepped forward. She was older, perhaps 45, with kind eyes and gray hair. Commander Nam introduced her. This is Dr. Minji Han, our integration specialist. She will help coordinate everything you need. Medical supplies, equipment, educational resources, technology upgrades. We are here to help you reconnect with the broader human civilization. Dr. Han smiled warmly. She carried a data tablet that probably contained more information than the colony's entire damaged database. Administrator Lee, Captain Kim, I know this must be overwhelming. We will take things slowly. But I promise you, within 6 months, New Sol 7 will have everything it needs. And more importantly, you will be reconnected to Earth's communication network. You will be able to talk to other colonies, to see news from Earth, to contact any family you might have elsewhere. Family. Taewon had never even considered it. His family had been on this colony for 3 generations. But somewhere out there he might have distant cousins, relatives who shared his blood even if they had never met. The next few hours were a blur. Commander Nam and his officers met with the colony leadership. They reviewed the settlement's needs. They planned infrastructure improvements. They discussed defense installations that would prevent any future attacks. But most importantly, they simply talked. Earth's people wanted to hear about how the colony had survived, what innovations they had developed, what challenges they had overcome. And the colonists wanted to hear about Earth, about other worlds, about humanity's struggle and triumph. Young Jin-ho found himself talking to Lieutenant Sung-ho Yoon, the fighter pilot. Yoon was showing him pictures of his SF-77 Raptor on his datapad. You really destroyed 3 warships in one battle? Jin-ho asked, his eyes wide. Yoon grinned. He was maybe 28, cocky and confident in the way only skilled pilots could be. 3 confirmed kills. But I had help. We fight as a squadron, not alone. That is the key. He looked at Jin-ho thoughtfully. You interested in flying? Jin-ho nodded eagerly. He had always dreamed of flying, but the colony only had a few old cargo shuttles, nothing like the sleek fighters Earth used. Tell you what, kid, Earth Navy is setting up a training academy here. Part of the integration process. We need local pilots who know the system. If you are serious about this, I will put in a recommendation. You have got the right attitude. Jin-ho felt like his heart might explode. A chance to fly for Earth. A chance to protect his home with real weapons. A chance to be part of something bigger. Jin spent her time with Earth's engineers. They gathered in her workshop, examining the colony's aging systems. She expected them to mock the primitive equipment. Instead, they were impressed. One engineer, a woman named Bo-Ra, carefully examined a power regulator Jin had built from salvaged parts. This is brilliant, Bo-Ra said. We would have used 3 different components to achieve this. You did it with one, how? Jin blinked in surprise. She explained her process, how she had needed to make the colony's limited resources stretch as far as possible, how she had learned to improvise and adapt. Bo-Ra nodded enthusiastically. She made notes on her datapad. Engineer Lee, Earth has been looking for innovations like this. We have advanced technology, yes, but you have developed techniques born from necessity. techniques we can learn from. Would you be willing to share your knowledge? We could transmit it to other colonies facing similar challenges. Heijin realized something profound. Earth was not here to just give them things. Earth wanted to learn too. The exchange went both ways. New Sol 7 had value beyond just being another colony to protect. That evening, Commander Nam hosted a gathering in the settlement's main hall. Earth's officers mixed with colonists. People shared food, stories, and hope. Taewon found Major Kang standing outside looking up at the stars. He joined her. "What happens now?" he asked. Kang considered the question. She had been asked it many times at many colonies. Now we rebuild. We connect you to Earth's network. We establish proper defenses. We bring in supplies and equipment. We help you reconnect with humanity. She looked at him. And we offer you a choice. What kind of choice? Your people have been isolated for over a century. You have built lives here. Some will want to stay. That is fine. New Sol 7 will continue to exist and thrive, but some might want to leave, to train on Earth, to see other worlds, to serve in the military or work elsewhere. We offer that opportunity to anyone who wants it. She paused, then added words that changed everything. And for soldiers like you, Captain Kim, I have a specific offer. The United Earth Marines would be honored to have you. Your people held this colony together for generations with nothing but determination and ancient rifles. That takes more than weapons. That takes warrior spirit. If you want to train at Earth's military academies and serve on ships like the Indomitable, the opportunity is yours. Taewon felt overwhelmed. Leave New Sol 7? He had never even considered it. This was his home, his entire life, but it was also a chance to be part of something bigger, to protect not just one colony but all of humanity, to ensure that no other settlement felt abandoned the way his had. I need to think about it, he said honestly. Kang nodded. Take your time. We will be here for at least 3 months helping with the initial integration. You do not have to decide today. That night, Taewon lay in his bed and stared at the ceiling. His radio sat on the nightstand silent for once. Tomorrow it would connect to Earth's network. Tomorrow he would be able to access information from across human space. Tomorrow everything would change. He thought about Jinho's excitement at the possibility of becoming a pilot, about Heijin's pride when Earth's engineers praised her work, about Sumi's tears when she touched that flag. They had survived 127 years alone. They had built lives, raised families, endured. And now they were being welcomed back into the human family. Earth had not forgotten them. Earth had been searching, and Earth had found them just in time. Taewon smiled in the darkness. For the first time in his life, he felt connected to something vast and powerful. He felt like part of humanity, not just an isolated colonist on a forgotten world. He was human, and humanity took care of its own. Outside, the Indomitable hung in orbit like a promise. Earth's carrier, Earth's strength, Earth's commitment to never leaving anyone behind. The galaxy had forgotten about New Sol 7, but Earth had remembered. And that made all the difference in the universe. 3 months passed like a dream. New Sol 7 transformed before everyone's eyes. Earth's construction crews worked day and night, building new infrastructure that would have taken the colonists decades to complete. A proper starport now stood where there had been only a rough landing field. Defense satellites ringed the planet, real military hardware that could actually protect against threats. Communication arrays connected the colony to Earth's network, bringing news from across human space. But the physical changes were nothing compared to the emotional ones. Families discovered relatives they never knew existed on other colonies. Children learned about Earth from teachers who had actually been there. Old people like Sumi finally got answers to questions they had carried for decades. Taewon stood in the new command center, watching data flow across screens that would have seemed like magic 3 months ago. His old defense force had been reorganized and retrained. They now used Earth weapons and tactics. They were no longer a desperate group with ancient rifles. They were real soldiers, but Taewon had made his decision. He was leaving. Major Kang had accepted his request to join the United Earth Marines. He would leave with the Indomitable when it departed next week. He would train at Earth's military academy for 2 years. Then he would serve on ships like this one, helping find other lost colonies. His second in command, a capable woman named Da-un, would take over as captain of the defense force. She was ready. The colony would be fine without him, but leaving still hurt. He found Hei-jin in her workshop. She was working with Bora on some new power system design. They had become close friends over the past months. Hei-jin was staying. She had too much work here, too many projects. And Earth wanted her knowledge about survival engineering. She looked up when he entered. She smiled, but her eyes were sad. So this is really happening. You are really leaving. Taewon nodded. I have to. This is bigger than just me or this colony. There are other settlements out there. Other people who think they are alone. I need to help find them. Hei-jin hugged him tightly. I know, I am proud of you. Just promise me you will come back and visit. You are not allowed to forget us. He laughed despite the tears in his eyes. How could I forget? This is home. It will always be home. I am just going out there to make sure other people get to keep their homes too. Jin-ho was also leaving. Lieutenant Yoon had been true to his word. The young man had been accepted into Earth's fighter pilot program. He would train alongside cadets from Earth itself. His parents were terrified and proud in equal measure. Taewon found him saying goodbye to his family. The boy looked excited and scared. Exactly how someone should look when their life was about to change forever. Ready for this, Jin-ho? The young man grinned. Born ready, Captain. I mean, I am nervous. But this is everything I ever dreamed about. Flying for Earth, protecting our people, being part of something bigger. Taewon put his hand on Jin-ho's shoulder. We will look out for each other. And we will come back. Not as colonists who got left behind. As soldiers who chose to serve. The night before departure, Commander Nam held a ceremony in the main square. The entire colony gathered. Earth's crew stood alongside the colonists. They were all human, all families. Sumi spoke first. The old administrator looked healthier than she had in years. Having hope did that to people. 3 months ago, we thought we were alone. We thought Earth had fallen. We thought we were the last humans in the galaxy. She paused, looking at Commander Nam and his crew. We were wrong. Earth never fell. Earth never forgot. And now we know the truth. We were never alone. We just had to wait for our family to find us. The crowd cheered. Commander Nam stepped forward next. People of New Sol 7 Earth, thanks you for your strength. You survived when survival seemed impossible. You raised children. You built lives. You endured. And now you are part of humanity's great return. The galaxy thought we were finished. They were wrong. We are back, and we are bringing all our children home. He gestured to the Indomitable hanging in orbit above them. Tomorrow, my ship departs to find more colonies. 8 more settlements are on our list. Some will need rescuing. Some will need supplies. All of them need to know they are not alone. And when we find them, we will tell them about New Sol 7, about how you survived, about how you never gave up hope even when you had every reason to. That night, people celebrated. Music played. Food was shared. Children ran through the streets laughing. It was like the colony had been reborn. Taewon walked through it all, memorizing every detail. The faces, the sounds, the feeling of home. He would carry this with him when he left. It would remind him why he served. Major Kang found him near dawn. The celebration had finally wound down. People were heading home to sleep before the departure. Having second thoughts, Captain Kim? He shook his head. No, this is the right choice. I just want to remember everything about this place. So when I am out there, I know exactly what I'm fighting for. Kang nodded approvingly. That is a good answer. The best soldiers are the ones who remember what home feels like. They fight harder. They endure longer. They never forget why they serve. Morning came too quickly. The shuttle that would take them to the Indomitable waited at the starport. Dozens of colonists had gathered to say goodbye. Not just to Taewon and Jin-ho, but to all of Commander Nam's crew who had become friends over the past 3 months. Hei-jin hugged Taewon one last time. Be safe, come back when you can, and tell those other colonies about us. Tell them how we survived. Maybe it will give them hope. I will. I promise. Sumi approached next. The old administrator looked at him with pride. Your parents would be proud, Taewon. You kept this colony safe for years, and now you are going to help keep all of humanity safe. That is a legacy worth having. Thank you, Administrator, for everything. You taught me what leadership really means. She smiled through her tears. Then go. Earth is waiting. The galaxy is waiting. Show them what New Sol 7 produces. Show them our strength. The shuttle lifted off smoothly. Taewon watched through the window as his home shrank below him. the settlement where he had spent his entire life, the people he loved, the world that had shaped him. But he was not sad. He was determined. He was going to make sure no other colony felt abandoned. He was going to help bring humanity back together. The Indomitable grew larger as they approached. The massive carrier that had saved his world. Soon it would be his home, his base, his way of serving humanity. Jin-Ho sat next to him, equally quiet. The young man stared at the carrier with awe. "Captain, are we doing the right thing? Leaving?" Taewon smiled. "Yes, New Sol 7 is safe now. It has defenses. It has Earth support. It has a future. But there are other colonies out there that do not. They need what we received. They need hope. They need to know Earth remembers, and we are going to bring them that message." The shuttle docked with the Indomitable. The hatch opened. Commander Nam stood waiting with Major Kang and the senior officers. "Welcome aboard, Captain Kim, Recruit Jin-Ho. You are now part of the United Earth Navy. Your training begins immediately." Taewon stepped onto the ship. He felt the deck beneath his feet, felt the hum of the engines, felt the presence of 3,000 crew members who had dedicated their lives to protecting humanity. He was one of them now, a soldier of Earth, a protector of the lost, a guardian of humanity's scattered children. Behind him, through the shuttle's window, he could see New Sol 7 one last time. The planet that had raised him, the colony that had survived against all odds. It was safe now, protected, connected, home, and Taewon would make sure other colonies got the same chance. He would fall from the sky like Earth's other soldiers. He would bring hope to the hopeless. He would prove that Earth never forgets. The galaxy had tried to scatter humanity, but humanity was coming back together, one colony at a time, one rescue at a time, one promise kept at a time. Earth remembered. And now Taewon would help make sure every lost human knew it. 6 months after leaving New Sol 7, Taewon stood on the bridge of the Indomitable and watched another wormhole tear open in space. This would be the 8th colony they had found since he joined the crew. 8 more groups of humans who thought they were alone. Commander Nam stood beside him, studying the tactical display. The colony below was called New Busan 12, population around 20,000. They had been isolated for 130 years, even longer than New Sol 7, and they were under attack. The enemy was different this time. Not the Vralk, but another alien empire called the Kethrin Collective. 30 warships surrounded the colony planet. Landing forces were already on the ground. Taewon felt his jaw tighten. He had been through this before, but from the other side. He remembered watching alien ships descend on New Sol 7. Remembered feeling helpless. Remembered believing it was the end. Now he was on the rescue ship. Now he had the power to help. Commander Nam activated the communication system. His voice was calm but carried authority that could not be ignored. "Kethrin Fleet, this is Commander Hyun-Woo Nam of the United Earth Naval Ship Indomitable. You are attacking human civilians. Withdraw immediately or face consequences." The Kethrin response was predictable. Arrogance, dismissal, threats. Commander Nam sighed. He looked at Taewon and the other officers. They never learn. Major Kang, deploy Marines. Lieutenant Yoon, launch fighters. Let us remind them why Earth does not negotiate. This time, Taewon would go with the Marines. He had trained for 6 months. He wore powered armor now. He carried weapons that could punch through solid steel. He was no longer a colonial defense captain with ancient rifles. He was an Earth Marine. Major Kang checked her equipment one final time. Around them, 500 Marines prepared for deployment. Taewon was one of them now. Not a colonial observer, a full member of the team. Kang activated her speakers so everyone could hear. Listen up. Those people down there are like New Sol 7 was. Like every colony we have found. They think they are alone. They think no one is coming to help. Today we prove them wrong. Today we show them Earth remembers. Marines, are you ready? 500 voices roared in response. Taewon roared with them. 6 months ago, he had been on the receiving end of this rescue. Now he would deliver it to others. The drop pods launched. Taewon felt the familiar acceleration, the heat, the violence of atmospheric entry. But this time he was not watching from the ground. He was falling from the sky like Earth's other warriors. His pod hit the ground hard. The impact would have killed an unprotected human. His armor absorbed it easily. The pod door blew off. He stepped out into the middle of a battlefield. Catherine forces were everywhere, but so were Earth's Marines. The battle began immediately. Taiwan moved with his squad, fighting with precision his training had drilled into him. His rifle cut through enemy armor. His tactical display showed him where his teammates were, where the enemies were, where the civilians needed protecting. It was brutal. It was efficient. It was everything Major Kang had trained them to be. Through the smoke and chaos, Taiwan saw colonial defenders. They fought with the same desperate courage he remembered from New Soul 7. Ancient weapons, outdated armor. But they fought anyway because that was what humans did. He moved toward them, providing covering fire. The colonial soldiers stared at him in shock. Earth armor, Earth weapons, the Earth flag on his shoulder. One of them, a woman who looked like a commander, approached cautiously. "Who are you?" Taiwan removed his helmet so she could see his face. So she could see he was human. Marine Taiwan Kim, United Earth Navy. New Busan 12, you are not alone. Earth has come to bring you home. The woman's eyes filled with tears. Behind her, other colonial defenders lowered their weapons in shock. They had been fighting alone for so long, and now Earth was here. The battle turned quickly after that, with Earth's Marines supporting the colonial forces. The Kethran ground troops stood no chance. They retreated to their landing craft and fled. In orbit, Lieutenant Yoon and his squadron tore through the Kethran fleet. The Indomitable's main gun destroyed the enemy flagship. The remaining ships retreated within 15 minutes. Another colony saved. Another group of humans brought back into the fold. Another promise kept. Days later, after the initial integration had begun, Taiwan walked through New Busan 12's main settlement. He saw the same expressions he remembered from New Soul 7. Shock, relief, joy, hope. Children approached him, curious about his armor. He knelt down and let them examine it. He told them about Earth, about other colonies, about how humanity was coming back together. An old man touched his shoulder. The man was maybe 70, with white hair and weathered hands. I was 5 years old when we lost contact with Earth. I thought I would die never knowing if humanity survived. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Taiwan felt tears in his own eyes. This was why he served. This moment right here. Earth never forgot you, sir. We have been searching for every colony, and we will keep searching until we find them all. That night, he sent a message back to New Soul 7, to Haijin, to Sumi, to everyone he had left behind. He told them about New Busan 12, about the rescue, about how their story had given these people hope. Haijin's response came quickly. She told him about the colony's progress, about new settlements being built, about trade with other rediscovered colonies, about families being reunited across the stars. New Soul 7 was thriving, and so would New Busan 12, and every other colony they found. Commander Nam called a meeting of senior officers. They stood in the briefing room looking at a star map. 11 more colonies were on their search list. 11 more families to bring home. But Commander Nam had something else to share. He activated a communication from Earth Command. A woman appeared on the screen. She wore the uniform of an admiral. Her expression was serious but proud. Commander Nam, this is Admiral Park. Earth Command has reviewed your mission reports. 55 colonies found. 38 saved. That is exceptional work. We are authorizing 5 more search ships. This mission is expanding. We will find every lost colony within 5 years. Every single one, the officers cheered. More ships meant faster searches. More rescues. More families reunited. The Admiral continued. And to the galaxy's various empires who have been attacking isolated human settlements, we have a message. Earth is back. We are finding our colonies. We are protecting them. Any attack on human civilians will be met with overwhelming force. This is not a negotiation. This is a promise. She paused, her expression hardening. The galaxy forgot about humanity during the Void Wars. They assumed we were broken. They assumed we were scattered and weak. They were wrong. We survived. We adapted. We became stronger. And now we are reclaiming our place among the stars. To every human colony out there, whether we have found you yet or not, know this. Earth remembers you. We are searching for you. We will find you, no matter how long it takes. No matter how far you are, we will bring you home. Because that is what humans do. We do not abandon our own. We do not forget our family. And when you are in danger, Our soldiers will fall from the sky to save you. This is humanity's declaration. We are back, and we are never leaving anyone behind again." The transmission ended. Commander Nam looked at his officers, at Taiwan and the others who had joined from rescued colonies, at the crew who had dedicated their lives to this mission. "You heard the Admiral. We have 11 more colonies on our immediate list. Let us find them. Let us bring them home." Later, Taiwan stood in the observation deck and watched the stars. Somewhere out there were 11 more colonies. 11 more groups of humans who thought they were forgotten. They would learn the truth soon. Earth was coming. Earth remembered, and Earth soldiers would fall from the sky to prove it. Jin-Ho joined him at the window. The young pilot had earned his wings 2 months ago. He flew combat missions now, protecting colonies just like the one he came from. "Do you think we will find them all, Taiwan? All the lost colonies?" Taiwan nodded with certainty. "Yes, it might take years. It might take decades. But we will find every single one. Because that is what Earth does. That is what humanity does. We do not give up on our own." Jin-Ho smiled. "I am glad I joined. I am glad I get to be part of this. Me too, kid." "Me too." The Indomitable's engines powered up. The wormhole generator activated. Space tore open once more, creating a path to the next colony, the next rescue. The next promise kept. The ship moved forward into the light. Carrying hope. Carrying strength. Carrying Earth's determination to never forget her children. The galaxy had scattered humanity across the stars. But humanity was coming back together. One colony at a time, one rescue at a time, one family reunited at a time. The galaxy forgot them. But Earth remembered, and when Earth soldiers fell from the sky, they brought more than weapons and technology. They brought hope. They brought connection. They brought the promise that no human would ever be alone again. That was humanity's strength, not just their weapons or their ships or their technology, but their refusal to abandon each other, their determination to stay connected across impossible distances, their commitment to family. Earth had not fallen during the Void Wars. Earth had survived. Earth had become stronger, and now Earth was keeping its promises. Every lost colony would be found. Every isolated settlement would be protected. Every forgotten human would be